Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to do a tier list for My Hero Academia movies. Now, these are some of the best anime movies I've ever seen. And we did a whole series watching Dragon Ball Z movies. If you guys haven't seen those, go ahead and check out our DBZ movies if you guys want to watch those. Our reactions to those, pretty good. We also did a tier list for that one as well, which had this one that was way more constructed because there was so many different movies. Because there's only 4 My Hero Academia movies, we're not going to do that. Actually, I'm just going to rank them 1 through 4. Now, keep in mind, okay, just as a disclaimer, I think all these movies are above like a 90%, in my opinion. These were just very solid movies. They're somewhere between 80 and 100% to me. You know, that like to make it in a tier would just be kind of weird because they would all just be an S or A rank. I don't know. That seems like a weird way to make a tier list. So this isn't a tier list of like tiers. I'm ranking 1 through 4. And it's like I'm comparing a 99 to a 98 or a 98 to a 97, 97 to a 90. You know, it's like this is going to be completely subjective to how I view things. A lot of people are probably going to disagree with why I liked one thing or another. It's all preference to certain people. So if you like it, or if you think the 4th on my list is your number 1, I would love to hear why. I mean, that'd be interesting. I'd like to hear your reasons for each one, because I'll admit there could be bigger fans of My Hero Academia than I am. And I'm just a react channel, and you know, these are something that I just stumble upon. I haven't read anything. I haven't done the deep dives into a lot of these animes. So from just without any sort of background knowledge, just like whatever the show gives me and I react to it, that's my opinion after watching it without any of the background knowledge or going to deep depths of understanding it. I mean, a lot of the comments, there are some comments that are just so top tier that really help bridge the gap of knowledge that I don't have. And they tell me things that I'm like, oh, I never even thought of that. Or maybe I assumed it, but I didn't know that was true. Yeah, I really hope, I can't wait to see the comments for this one. You know, maybe there could be negative comments, but I read those too. So, bring it on. You know, I'm looking forward to that. That's the point of tier lists, is that you put yourself out there and either the community agrees or disagrees. That's I guess the beauty of making tier lists, because not everyone's going to agree with you. That's always true. No one's going to agree with your opinion either. So, you know, maybe I'll disagree. So I'm going to start out. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from starting at 4th all the way up to what I rank as number 1 out of the 4 movies. At the 4th spot, I think the very first My Hero Academia movie takes that spot. And that is The Two Heroes. Now, this movie was... Keep in mind, this movie is really good. So let's take that away. Like, that part of it, we know the movies are good. Like, I don't have to keep saying that over again. The movies are phenomenal. What I thought this one did so well was that I thought the side character was just she did such an amazing job. That opened my eyes to finally a side character in a movie where I'm like, I care about the side character. You know, I care about their story. I care about the struggles that they're going through in the story. And this one actually didn't seem like an anchor, if that makes sense. It seemed like it wasn't something that Deku was holding back for, you know, like having to constantly cover and make sure that they're okay. You know, like they were holding their own. And even though they were quirkless, you know, to me, that was really cool. And because this was their very first My Hero Academia movie, it gives it a slight, I guess you could kind of give it a grace, or whatever you call it, a buffer to saying, like, okay, this was their first attempt at a movie. This one was really good. So to come out the gates like that, what are they called? Studio Bones. So good. The double smash from, what was it called? Detroit Smash? Was that what it was? From All Might and Deku. Cinema, man. Just so cinema. So good. Yeah, that ranks as number 4 for me. And that's number 4. That's insane. It was such a good story. The music is top tier. As always, My Hero Academia music is just top tier in my opinion. You know, maybe you have people that can disagree with that, but I love the music. It gets to me every single time. I don't know what it is. I can't even explain why it does. But yeah, I would put Two Heroes at number 4. All right, at number 3. Now this one might shock probably everyone. Because based on the comments that I've seen, this is probably a lot of people's number 1. But if you see my reaction, you probably already know what this is gonna be. But at number 3, it's gonna be You're Next. Ooh, rip that band-aid off. Yeah, I felt like it was basically, how do I want to say this? It basically gave me everything that number 1 had, the first movie had with Two Heroes. In terms of plot, I felt like the plot for this one was very, in my eyes, it was weak. Because there were so many different things that were going on that it got a little confusing. Maybe I'm dumb. That could be a factor. But I felt very confused in the parts where I'm like, okay, what is this guy's power? How are they getting boosted? And I'm like, oh, over time, I'm like, oh, it's from her. Oh, it's from, these are just mafia guys that I think we've heard of in the past in the show. At least I think that's what I was told. Or at least they were referenced in the show. I thought Dark All Might was actually pretty funny. Or Dark Might was really funny as a villain. And the fact that he used, I think it's Amy, used her powers against her own will, actually just like, it came off very villainous. Like, immediately you think, okay, this guy's trying to copy All Might, but he has the, I guess, aura of a villain. Like, you could tell that this guy was just up to no good. And I feel like so many movies do that poorly. This one did it really well. But he had the charm of, like, All Might. Like a little dash of All Might charm to it. Yeah, they set the stage. It was really cool how they set the stage for the show. Starting with the whole You're Next point. And I feel like it more or less was, I guess, riding the high from that moment, and we just had that in the background of our minds the whole time watching it. I think another part was maybe this is just a specifically me part of the reaction, was maybe I was confused with the servant, whatever his name is. It starts with a B, I believe. I'm terrible with names, by the way. But I thought there was gonna be some sort of romance to it. I guess there was no real payoff to that. It didn't really seem like that in the end. And so I felt like they could have really capitalized on it. But then again, if you weren't looking for that, the ending was really good. I was confused in the moment where I think he says in the movie, I could be getting this wrong, but I only do a one-time run through, so maybe I missed this part. But to me, I almost distinctly remember him saying he's quirkless, or his quirk no longer works, or something like that. He could have been referencing that his quirk doesn't work on her anymore because she's too far gone, maybe. That he can no longer negate what's going on with her. He was basically the bridge to her living a normal life, and I thought that was kind of a beautiful concept, which is why this one for me bounced between 2 and 3, because I loved that idea. That was such a cool concept. So for me, this is number 3 right now, but it easily could be number 2 for me. But number 1 spot I have pretty set in stone. Yeah, love this movie. Great movie. I had so much fun watching it. Lots of confusing moments that, in my eyes, stopped it from being number 1, because I could have easily been number 1. The animations at the final fight scene, whoo, those were so good. Oh my god, those were so good. I felt like there's not many times where I'm speechless while watching a video. I could say something or I'm making some sort of noise. It like stun locked me. I was just, I felt like I couldn't say anything, so I was literally just reacting, which is the whole point of the channel. But like, I couldn't say anything. I couldn't even go wow. I was just It was so good. I want to see that part again, actually. But yeah, that I'll put that at number 3, which is insane to say. But yeah, number 3. All right, and coming in number 2, we have Heroes Rising. Now, for me, this was a really solid. From like all parts of it, it was really solid. I think the only part that was kind of meh for me in this movie was the fact that they were on, I guess it was like, it looked like a summer job work on this island. It just so happens villains show up. It seemed too like convenient for it to happen, I guess. It was like, okay, villains showed up at this island that you guys are all doing a summer job for. There's no heroes there. There's a bunch of students doing work for this island. And that just seemed really odd to me. Maybe they thought it was really safe, but why wouldn't you have some sort of safety net just in case? I think that part for me kind of left me a little confused at first. Maybe they explained it at some point, but I don't remember why they would do that. Seems a bit reckless. I don't know, especially at that time when there's villains just going wreaking havoc randomly. I thought the Bakugo and Deku team up at the end there, it was just peak. It was so good. Whoever edited that or animated that, or if it was a team that animated that, if it was Studio Bones, I don't know. I'm not too knowledgeable on this stuff, but that was incredible. And the music that was playing with it too was beautiful. It was stunning. They didn't have to go with the tried and true. They just went with something new, which was a risky move, but it paid off. And I love that there was so much teamwork. What I loved about this specific movie is that you can see so much of the planning and teamwork. It like really capitalized on everything that the students were learning throughout their hero programs. And I thought that was very evident in the movie. They were coming with like escape plans. They're coming up with lines of defense to save the kids and the people of the island. Yeah, and the main villain, I gave off very all for one vibes, and which was the point because his power was like basically a copy of a weaker version of the copy, and it was very sinister. And I loved how they kept leveling up, and then Deku and Midoriya and Bakugo ended up working together to defeat it, and that was so good. Even the kids played such a cool part. I remember getting really teary-eyed when the boy finally ran up to go save his sister, and he's crying out to leave his sister alone. You know, as a little brother, it's like myself. It's like you've had moments like that. You know, you see your brother getting bullied, type of thing. You want to run in and try to save it, but you know, you're the little brother. You know, you're gonna probably get kicked away. But the idea that he went for it in that moment was just, it was so cool because you're sitting there and it's just, at this moment, it felt so dire. It felt so hopeless until you see Midoriya and then Bakugo come in just to like whoop some butt, in my opinion. That was good. Yeah, I felt like it had a little bit of everything. The plot wasn't great, but in my opinion, it had a little bit of everything that made it so good. So yeah, I'll put that as number 2, but you can see why. It's almost like the same reasons why I put You're Next at number 3. They're interchangeable in my eyes. All right, and for our final movie, I have at number 1, World Heroes Mission. Right? I believe that's what it's called. What can I say? It had one of my favorite side characters in a movie ever. I loved the reveal of his quirk. That got me so bad. I knew they were basically leading up that it was gonna be dumb, but they would never tell you. And even in moments where it's like you thought they were gonna tell you, it was still just being kind of thrown aside. They would reference it a little bit. And in the moment where all hope is gone, or at least they won, but you know, there was still gonna be destruction to be had because the bombs are still gonna go off, and you see this little bird with the computer chip going into to stop the bombs from going off. So good. I thought the plot this one was really good. It was kind of like the kids on the run from a human rights organization, or call it whatever you want to call it, that also has the police on their side. The police are corrupt in this story. That are also being helped by the villains, and so there was layers to the story that I liked, that made it seem very like a plot for an actual movie, not an animated movie. And so that was really cool. That's why it felt like I was sitting there like I wanted to get some popcorn at that moment. You know, I felt like I was in a theater experience. Yeah, in the animation, there's that one scene. I think that was my favorite animated scene. Like, there's a bunch of animated scenes where I could say that was my favorite, but I think this one was my favorite. When he was fighting the mirror guy, where Midoriya is like punching, and he's punching really slow, and he's getting boosted, and he just starts punching really fast. Oh, that was so well done, well animated. Yeah, I don't think anything really tops that for me, even though there's some very like just absolute. Oh no, actually, the one animation I think is number one in my eyes is the 360 fight before the final showdown, where they're outside on the mountainside and there's a helicopter scene flying around. It's just like this constant animation going in 360 around this mountaintop, and it was so well done. I don't think I've ever really seen anything like that at that extent, and while not losing much value in doing so, if that makes sense. It's like they still kept the same amount of animation level while also being showing it into like a moving camera that even in real life that's hard to do, with a constant camera shot like that. And they captured that in animation so well done. That was one of my favorite animations that I've seen in recent memory. Yeah, I felt like this movie basically had the check mark for everything for me. It had a really good plot. For me, anime is like, if I find something really good, plot is number one for me. That's the most important thing for me, is the plot. If it has a really good plot, a really solid plot and story can make up for shortcomings on animation. And that's why some old shows hold so well, or do so well, because even though the animation may not be up to standards today, the story is incredible. That's something that lasts, that is timeless. So yeah, a solid story to me matters the most when rating shows or movies. And I think that all these movies had just some of the best animation I've ever seen, so I already had that. And like, I wasn't trying to be a crutch for anything. That's why sometimes plot doesn't really matter in this instance, because this is like a unique case scenario. But for me, the one that shined the most was World Heroes Mission for plot. That was really solid. And I think that's the most I cried. It may have been Heroes Rising that I got teary-eyed or cried the most. And I'm saying it like it's common now, but I'm gonna say it usually is not the case. But these movies, for some reason, just do it. It's the music that gets me. Yeah, I absolutely love that movie. That I would watch all of these again, to be honest with you. I would actually do a second watch through with these. All right, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this tier list video. If you guys did, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you guys want to see more videos like this, we have a Patreon link in the description down below, which is uncut, unedited videos, as well as a TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. And we'll see you guys next time. Aaron, sign out. Later, guys.